On today's episode, we talked about undefeated teams and teams that cannot seem to win a game. Now, we do apologize. That segment might be a little bit outdated with the games that were already played. We talked news, captains, trending players, Sidney Crosby hitting 1,600 points. It was a great episode for episode number 75. We're only 25 away from the big 100. But here's NordCast, episode 75. Enjoy.
Do people in Canada have cable, like other people?
We keep this up in the playoffs. I don't care.
And at Chili's. Is it a Chili's? At Kyle's?
Achilles.
Finally.
You don't know that?
Fuck you! Get this guy the fuck out of here!
Alright, well, coming in at number 5, I got Anthony Stolars.
Now! Jets are winning the cup!
Thank you for watching and listening. What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode number 75 of the NordCast. It is Thursday, October 17th, 2024. Carter, how we doing today?
We're doing absolutely fantastic. First podcast of being 19 years old. We're happy to be here. Thank you. On the birthday, Oregon Ducks got the win. We beat Ohio State, so I am in a great mood right now. Things are great. Things are great. We have more wins over Ohio State than probably the entire Iowa Hawkeyes football team.
And Jack is not here joining us today, unfortunately. It looked like he was going to, and then he just said, yeah, I'm out.
This guy just pulls out at the last minute every time.
It's because he lost a bet, and he has to dress up as a maid in the next
Yeah,
episode.
and the guy just does not want to own up to it.
No, he doesn't.
It's kind of outrageous.
It's a little disappointing because when we lose bet, I don't even remember what was the bet. Winnipeg beating Chicago, wasn't that?
Yeah, because he said there's no way Chicago starts the season 0-2.
There's definitely
And let's just say they started the season 0-2.
Yeah, there's definitely a way for them to be 0-2. If there's any team that I would pick to go 0-2, it'd be like them in San Jose. But yeah, when we come on here and we make these bets, we come in and we live up to it. We don't, scare away and not come to episodes and make up the fact that we gotta go to a basketball game. He's gonna listen to this and get mad at. No, he's not. He's not gonna listen to this. Come on. No, he's not. All right, anywho, moving on from Jack and his basketball, whatever he's doing. Carter, this is actually it's not only your first podcast as a 19-year-old, it's your first podcast in the third year of the NordCast. How does that feel? Take a sip of water.
It's nice, man. It's weird. Season 3 of the NordCast this year. And Nordic had to start off season 3 by himself.
Yep.
Which is probably not very fun for you, the listeners, but I'm back now, so we'll add a little bit of excitement.
A voice of opinion, and you're not just listening to me yap the whole time. I also want to apologize. In that episode, when I put the thing on at the end with the rookie preview, the audio was garbage, and that's on me for not acknowledging that. So I do apologize for that, and I also do realize that my audio regularly is not that good either, and it's because I don't have a microphone that connects to this computer, and I don't have one of those cords that connects to this one, because it's not one of those old ones where it has the kind of the cube cord. For the video listeners, you guys can kind of tell what I'm talking about. It has 2 really small ones that definitely aren't this, and I've tried to look for them, but I can't find any that are under $50. Believe it or not.
Are you talking USB Type C? Is what your computer has?
Yes,
okay.
That's the kind of that I have. I'm just not good with that, but I can't find a converter that converts what that is to the type of USB this computer is for under $50.
USB to USB Type C.
Yeah, and I'm just no, I'm not doing it. I'm not paying $50 for that. Not just yet. Maybe down the road, maybe as a Christmas present or next month I'll do it, but right now,
I'm not getting you anything.
All right, let's get into some actual hockey talk here. It's already been 4 minutes. I want to talk about 2 polarizing ends of the NHL: the undefeated teams and the teams that haven't won yet. Put a little asterisk next to that. It is Thursday night when we're recording this, so there's a decent chance that by the time you guys listen to this, one of these two or three or all of these teams would have lost or won games. So this might become completely outdated before it even goes live, but we're rolling with it. Who cares? We're going to start off with, I would say, Carter, the biggest surprise of the undefeated teams, the Calgary Flames. They are 4-0 through their first 4 games, and you just got to admit that it has been so impressive what this Calgary Flames team has done. They are actually first in the Super 16 by the NHL, and they are beating good teams. They're beating bad teams. They're winning in overtime, coming from behind. They start off with a 6-5 win over Vancouver in Vancouver. Then they beat Philadelphia. Then they beat Edmonton, and then they also beat Chicago as well. So you can make the argument that a few of those guys are really, a few of those teams are kind of just like, not that great. Like Chicago's not that great. Philadelphia, you could argue, is not that great. But apart from that, they're beating some pretty solid teams who, even though they do have rough starts to the season, and we'll get into them in a little bit. So, Carter, have you been watching the Flames? Have you kind of seen their headlines? Are you impressed with what you've seen so far?
I'll be honest. I have watched very little hockey as I have had no time to really watch much. I've paid attention to the stats. I've paid attention to the highlights. I've checked up on teams and everything like that. I will say I am kind of shocked that the Calgary Flames are 2-0. Was it expected? No. But, when you look at this team, we're seeing Jonathan Huberdeau play at the elite level we kind of had seen with him back in Florida. Obviously, last season was not his cup of tea, and his first season in Calgary was not good for him either. But, we're looking at this right now, and he's got 6 points through 4 games, 3 goals, 3 assists. And he's really looking like a great piece for Calgary right now. Is he going to live up to that $11 million contract? No one knows right now, right? But he's looking really good, as well as their number 1 D-man is starting to step up. Rasmus Anderson. He has looked,
by the way.
He has looked very good. I will say Rasmus Anderson has looked really good so far. Through 4 games, he's got 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points as well, and he's a +7 as well, which is really what you want to see out of your top defenseman. Not only to have, the point stats as well, but to have the plus-minus as well is just unreal from your number 1 defenseman. But that's not going to shy away from the performances of Dustin Wolf.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, has this guy been awesome.
Yes, sir.
He has been really unreal. He's got 2 wins. He's posting a .202 GAA and a .944 save percentage. Now, that is only through 2 games, so I'm not going to overreact to his stat line through 2 games. But it's a nice-looking start. It's a nice-looking start because he's a rookie, correct?
He is, and he's probably the best rookie goaltender out there, I would say. So him getting a hot start,
for sure.
He actually kind of is like a dark horse for the Calder, low key. If Calgary does continue this start, there's a decent chance that, Wolf could be in the top, the top Calder race by the end of October, possibly. And again, it's still early, but, you love to see this if you're a Flames fan.
Yeah. And I think when you're looking at it too, if he doesn't have to maintain a 944, because that's Vezina numbers right there. 944 with a 202. That is legitimately Vezina numbers. So let's say he puts up a 9-3 or something and a 2-2, 2-3. I think you're looking at him play himself into maybe a Vezina finalist for sure, potential Vezina winner. But even if he posts a 9-2, a 9-3, he could win the Calder if we don't see anything ridiculous. From the offense of the skater class of these rookies. So Dustin Wolf, I think, has been a big key for the Calgary Flames. So I've really liked what I've seen from him, and a lot of these additions too. Andrei Kuzmenko, who looked like he wasn't going to have a chance in Vancouver anymore, and he came over here and he's looked unreal. He's looked great. So their stars are playing well. Their depth is playing well too. A lot of guys with some goals here, and I don't know. they look like they're really rolling right now.
Now I want you to read off Marty Pospisil's stat line.
Marty Pospisil?
Yes. He should be up there.
Marty.
And Martin. It's Martin on the stat sheet, but
Oh, his stat line?
yes.
4 games played. He's got 1 goal, 4 assists for 5 points. He's a +3 with 7 penalty minutes.
He is centering Jonathan Huberdeau right now. And I believe, Carter, if you combine those two numbers, they have 11 points combined, right? 12 points? Yeah.
11.
So you see people like that, and you see, Huberdeau and Pospisil play really well together. Like, that is awesome. And, especially too, like Huberdeau in December of 2023, we forget that he went pointless, not scoreless, pointless throughout an entire month of hockey until the last day of that month, the last day of 2023, actually, when he scored against the Flyers. But, like, seeing him off to this hot start is actually terrific. Now, Carter, I want to ask you one more question. Do you think this continues? We'll keep going back to this.
Yeah. Can it continue? Probably not. In my mind, I don't see Calgary continuing at this projection. Because you see it with teams all the time. They start off hot, then they get cold, or they start off cold and then they get hot, right? So I'm not going to overreact to the start of the season. We're only 4 games in for the Calgary Flames, so we've had teams start 10-0 and then completely fall off, right? So I'm not going to overreact to it too much, but I think this is all going to rest on the back of Dustin Wolf. I think if he keeps playing at this high level, because he is significantly outperforming Dan Vlader, however you want to pronounce his last name. He is, Darth Vlader. He's significantly outperforming him. So if I think that, if he can continue at this level, I think he'll take him as far as he can.
Now, I do want to look at the rest of their schedule in October. There's a few games in here that are pretty winnable, but apart from that, it seems like it's going to be probably a pretty rough end of October for them because they play Seattle on Saturday, the 19th, which is going to be an interesting one. They can definitely win that. Then they play Pittsburgh, which they can win. Then they got Carolina, Winnipeg, Vegas, and then followed up by Utah to end the month. So it's possible they do come out of October with a winning record, but as it goes moving after that, it could be very difficult. But seeing Calgary off to this hot start when we both expected that they were going to have a rough season this year, I think you can't help but be happy if you're a Calgary Flames fan. All right.
No, I think you got to be happy with this start.
100%. Let's move on to the Dallas Stars, who are playing right now, I do believe. So there's a good chance that by the time you guys watch this, ironically enough, they're down 3-2 to the Capitals. But by the time you guys listen to this, they might no longer be undefeated. So got to put that little asterisk there. But when we're recording this, they are undefeated. They are also 4-0 with 8 points. They are tied with Calgary for first. Dallas's schedule has been an interesting mix of pretty good teams, but also some pretty bad teams in there as well. They played Nashville in their opener. They won 4-3. Then they've been on this little homestand where they played the Islanders, the Kraken, and the Sharks, only letting in 2 goals during those 3 games with 2 shutouts from Jake Ottinger. And I also want to follow up with Jake Ottinger, and this is going to be something we talk about in news maybe a little bit later, but I guess we can talk about it now. Jake Ottinger signed an 8-year, $8.25 million extension with the Dallas Stars today. Carter looks surprised. He did.
No. Casey DeSmith has 1 shutout. It's not 2 for Ottinger.
Oh, okay. All right. My bad. That's me not doing good.
Put some respect on that guy's name.
Sorry. DeSmith, legendary backup goaltender. But yeah, Ottinger signed an 8-year, $8.25 million extension with the team today. First off, before we get into the Stars as a whole, Carter, how do you feel about that deal? It's the same as Swayman and Ullmark, the AAV.
Same as Swayman, same as Ullmark, and it goes to a goalie who I feel we can say is a little bit more proven. Because he's a year older than Swayman, year or two?
He's definitely played more games, and I think has more experience under his belt as a starter than Swayman does. And that's not a shot at Swayman, but it's
No.
true. It's facts.
No, 100%.
It's actually pretty good they get him on the same AAV as Swayman, because Ottinger could have came in there and been like, hey, you see Swayman get that money? I've played more seasons than him. Give me 9. You can very well say that, but I think 8.5 is pretty good for him.
So yeah, you're getting same deal for a more proven goaltender, and this isn't saying that Jeremy Swayman's bad and doesn't deserve it. He 100% does.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
We were saying he deserved it pretty much the whole time, and I think we're seeing this. He's playing at such a high level that it makes this contract look absolutely magnificent. So I'm a big fan of this deal for Jeremy Swayman, and I think he'll. Or sorry, not for Swayman.
Maybe Ottinger, right?
Ottinger, yeah.
He's not
For
football.
Ottinger, I'm a big fan of it, so I like it.
All right. Who are the guys that are scoring for Dallas right now? They got guys in the back end putting up shutouts for them, but who are the guys scoring the goals?
All right, you want guys who are scoring some goals here? I'll tell you. So they got 3 guys with 2. Tyler Seguin, who's been off to a great start. He's missed a game, though. I'm not exactly sure what it was for. I don't know if he's missing now. But as of right now, he's got 2 goals, 1 assist for 3 points through 3 games played. Roop Heinz has 2 goals as well through 4 with 3 points. And then Mason Marchment.
Roop Heinz?
Rupee.
Rupe Hintz.
Whatever. It's close enough, okay? And he's also got 2 goals, and then Mason Marchment, who is also their points leader right now with 2 goals, 3 assists for 5 points. And then Logan Stankoven has not found the back of the net yet, but he's got 5 apples, so he's looking really good.
Okay, so I want to follow up with Tyler Seguin. He is currently day-to-day with a lower body injury. He's actually missing the game right now against the Capitals. Doesn't say on this report that I'm reading what exactly it is that he got hurt for, but it's lower body somewhere. And Maverick Bourque, it looks like, has taken his place right now in the lineup, which is a good thing because Bourque is a pretty good player. But yeah, again, as you said, they got guys contributing offensively. They do look impressive. The rest of their games that are upcoming in the month of October, of course, they're playing Washington right now, which they might even freaking lose that game. Wouldn't surprise me. The Oilers, the Sabres, which that's definitely a beatable game. The Bruins, that'll be a close one. And then Chicago, they can definitely beat Chicago. So I think that, Dallas has done impressive work so far. They've played mostly kind of teams that were, below the playoff line last year. If they weren't below the playoff line, they were kind of right at the playoff line, and the Islanders and I guess the Predators too. But, I think Dallas looks exciting right now. Let's transition that over from Dallas to the Winnipeg Jets. Carter's team, they are 3-0, not 4-0. Let me just check if they're playing right now. Are they playing right
We
now?
play tomorrow.
Okay, so they play tomorrow, so it's not going to be outdated when this comes out. But Winnipeg is 3-0. They are 5th in the NHL, just behind my Utah Hockey Club. Winnipeg's played only 3 games so far, but I feel like there might be a little bit of a sense of kind of panic from these games, to be honest. Not panic, but like a little bit of concern because they played a few teams and came so close to them they probably should have won. They destroyed Edmonton 6-0. That was an absolute wrecking. I'm sure Carter was really happy about that. Then they played Chicago last Friday, and that was a really close one right up to the finish. Mark Scheifele scored with 46 seconds left.
Yeah.
And then won the game in overtime. That was the game that Jack lost the bet to, by the way. He came so close to seeing Carter wear a maid uniform or a maid outfit, but nope, not today. It's going to be Jack whenever he does it. And then they also beat Minnesota in what was probably a very competitive and grit matchup, 2-1 as well. So, Carter, how are you feeling about your Jets?
I honestly don't really know. I'm not trying to, as always, overreact, but I'm liking the start so far. 3-0 is always a great place to be. But as you said, close wins against teams that we should probably be beating. But I mean, those Central Division games could go either way. They're always a very tight matchup, always very close.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you're still winning. I'm not saying that, like, you know.
yeah, no, 100%. I'm not.
You should definitely be beating Chicago by more than 2-1. But obviously, those games happen sometimes.
Yeah.
Who's
No,
put it up?
Hellebuck's looked really great. So happy about that.
What's Hellebuck's stat line? Can you read that off?
Oh, will I ever?
That's
So he's got 3 games. He's got 3 wins, a 0.66 goals against average, and a 976 save percentage. He has looked absolutely unreal. Only let in 2 goals so far, which is 1 in each of his games. So he has looked very good so far, and yeah, I'm quite happy with that. He's looking like the reigning Vezina winner. So
awesome.
Quite
Who's
happy.
scoring goals for you?
Who's scoring goals? Mark Scheifele is scoring goals. He's got 4 of those right now. Another guy, Kyle Connor, who's continuing his NHL season debut goal streak, which was pushed to 7 against Edmonton. So that was really nice to see. And that third line was scoring goals. Lowry, Appleton, and Kupari all had one in the game against Edmonton, so they just could not stop our third line. And Adam Lowry is a point-per-game player. So, Bartner, this is why he is the best captain in the league.
We're going to get into captains a little bit later because that is something I'm going to quiz you on. But just to follow up on the Kyle Connor stat line, Kyle Connor becomes the first player in NHL history to score a goal in 7 straight season openers. It's pretty impressive. So if you're someone who likes to bet and likes to gamble, I would say at the start of the Jets season next year, place a bet on a Kyle Connor goal and you'll make some money. Or maybe not because I can't bet. But yeah, Winnipeg looks exciting. They do have like kind of a mixed schedule. Actually, their schedule is kind of easy. They play San Jose tomorrow on Friday. When this comes out, they play Pittsburgh then, which we'll get into in a little bit here about something that happened to somebody in Pittsburgh. St. Louis, Seattle, Calgary, Toronto, and Detroit. So I would say the majority of those games to end off the month of October are very winnable games. They can definitely win some of those games. And I think if Hellebuck keeps up this crazy stat line that he has, he could be in the contention for a second straight Vezina. Or is it third? I think it's second, right? Second straight Vezina, yeah. So he's looking pretty good right now. And the last team that we're going to look at that is undefeated is the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, I want to put a little bit of an asterisk against Tampa because they've only played 2 games. They are playing right now against Vegas, and they're down 3-2. So, again, this could be outdated by the time this comes out. But we're going with it anyways. Who cares? Tampa, since they've played less games, and through no fault of their own because of what happened with Hurricane Helene, Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton were obviously causing a few cancellations. But Tampa, 13th in the NHL, 2-0. Again, the 13th is a little, it's kind of a little bit of an asterisk there. But the 2 wins they have, they beat Carolina 4-1, and then they beat Vancouver 4-1. So 2 impressive wins, I would say. They're playing pretty well. But Carter, I want to know about Andrei Vasilevskiy. Is he back?
Is Andrei Vasilevskiy back? He could be. He's looked really good. He's posted a 1 goals against average. He's got 2 wins, and he's got a 958 save percentage. So as always, this is destined to go down because obviously goalies have bad games. But he's looked really good. He's made a lot of saves when they've had to. But I will say that the defense has done a very good job at limiting the shots that Andrei Vasilevskiy has faced. He's only faced 48. So if you average that between 2 games, that's only 24 shots a game. So they are doing a very good job at not letting a lot of shots come through. I'm going to see if I can pull up. I'm going to quickly pull up their last 2 games just to kind of make sure we get it. So in the first game against Carolina, he faced 21 shots. And against Vancouver, he only faced 27. So far, he has not faced more than 30 shots a night, which is very good if you're the Tampa Bay Lightning and Andrei Vasilevsky, because not only is that going to help his health, he's going to stay better. He's going to be feeling a lot better. He's going to be able to play more. But not only that, means your defense is playing really good, which means you're going to have a lot more time for offense. So a very good start for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And looking at their top scorers here, Nikita Kucherov, he's got 4 tucks already through 2 games. He's averaging 2 goals a game, and he's got an apple to go with it as well. He's got 1 on the power play, 1 game winner. Braden Point, who's off to, you can't really say slow start because he's also over a point per game.
Uh-oh.
He's got 2 goals, 1 assist for 3 points. And Victor Hedman is also. I'm trying to. Okay, we're good. I was trying to reconnect. I was
a little panic there. All right, you're back. So going back to
all right, we're good.
About Point. I think you were on point.
I was on point. I went to Gensel. I don't know what it caught, so I'll just say this again. Point's got 2 tucks, 1 apple for 3 points. Gensel, their new addition, he's got 3 apples. And Victor Hedman has started off the season looking good with 3 apples as well, and he's also a +3. So a very good start for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So we're going to see what they can do. Connor Geekie off his suspension as well. He's got no points. Everyone else, they do not have a lot of guys with a point right now. Half their team has a point and half their team does not.
So right now, they're playing Vegas, as I said. Kucherov has 5 tucks now because he scored in that game as well.
All right, we'll put Kucherov down for 5. He's going to get another one. Maintain that 2 goal per game pace, and he is going to hit 164 goals this season.
We love on pace, don't we? Oh, man. Tampa looks great, and we forget, too, that Vasilevsky was injured to start the season last year, and seeing him come back at the start of the year for the first time in a while and play pretty well, you can't help but be happy about that. So good on Tampa, good on Winnipeg, good on Dallas, and good on Calgary for all of them looking very solid right now. All right, we're going to go to the other end of the spectrum and look at the teams that can't win a game. Starting off with Carter, I would say the most surprising one. The Colorado Avalanche are 0-4 to start the season. And Carter, this was a team that I think we had placing second or first in that division, at least top 3. So you can't help but hit the panic button here a little bit. So their first game, they play Vegas. They lose 8-4. They pull Georgiev. Second game, they play Columbus. They lose 6-4. They pull Georgiev. Third game, they don't pull Georgiev, but they lose to the Islanders 6-2. And then last night, they lost to Boston 5-3. And it is such a rough start to the season. They have played pretty good teams. They played bad teams. They played teams in the middle, and they can't seem to get a win against any of them. So, Carter, are you hitting the panic button right now?
Oh my, this is the New Jersey Devils team of this year.
No, it's not.
The lack of goaltending is what is going to screw them. I think we saw it in the first game of the playoffs last year, and then somehow Georgiev managed to turn it around, but he is back to his 2024 playoff game 1 days because he has looked horrible. Oh my goodness. Through 4 games played, he's got 3 losses, so he's been yanked a lot. He has a 5.79 goals against average and an 8.02 save percentage. Onnnn has also looked horrible as well, posting a 4.69 goals against average and a 7.65 save percentage.
Yikes.
Combined, they have 21 goals against. This is horrible. Now, you want to look at the negatives. I think you also got to look at some of these positives here. Cale Makar, he is at 8 points through 4 games right now.
Yeah,
he is looking very, very good right now. Mikko Rantanen, He's averaging a goal a game. He's got 4 goals, 3 assists for 7 points through 4 games. Nathan McKinnon, he's got a goal and 6 assists. So that's that top unit right there. And then after that, you start to take a drop, and it goes to Casey Middlestad, who's got 3 tucks, no assists. Ross Colton, who's got 2 tucks, 1 assist. Josh Manson, who's just got 2 assists. And you just start looking at their big 3 is really carrying this team right now.
Yeah.
I think when you look at it, it's not a surprise. I will say Nathan McKinnon with 10 penalty minutes is very surprising to me.
He seems frustrated. And
He does.
I gotta say that I think a lot of those games have a lot of those penalty minutes have come from the one game against the Islanders because he got a game misconduct. So that's part of it. But again, you can't help but be just like a little bit concerned, maybe not hitting the panic button just yet because it is Colorado, but you can't help but be concerned. Like, Carter, I actually forgot that you played the Avalanche in the playoffs this year, but you saw how Georgiev was. He wasn't that good. Like,
No.
Even though the Avalanche won, he wasn't that good.
They kind of like switched their system after that first game, and we saw some things change.
I would say a lot of why Georgiev wasn't looked at during that series was because, and you might be mad at me for this, but because of how bad Hellebuck looked. That might have been a lot of why, people kind of overlooked it. But it's clear that this is a make or break year for Georgiev. He is on the last year of his contract. I think that when the Avalanche are done with this season and they eventually lose, if they lose again in the second or first round, I think that you have to pull the trigger on Georgiev because the past 3 years or 2 years have not worked since winning that cup. And you had Kemper in net, and Kemper wasn't that great of a goalie, but he was solid. He could at least win you some games here and there. And you have Pavel Francouz as your backup, but under Georgiev, it just doesn't seem like it's going to work. And a Noonan who looked good last year, but I don't know. It just hasn't really connected this year. Now, do I think that this continues? Probably not. They go on a California road trip where they play Anaheim and San Jose. I think they can win those games easily and immediately be 2-4. Then they play Seattle. Then they play Utah. Then they go on a homestand with Ottawa, Chicago, and Tampa Bay coming to town to end the month of October. So it's 100% doable to come out of this. But if you keep losing games and go like 0-6, 0-7, 0-8, I mean, we saw the Oilers do it last year, but it is going to be one hell of a climb for this Avalanche team to perform that. So we'll see what happens here with Colorado, but you can't help but be concerned about Georgiev and his goaltending. All right, let's move on to, we're actually going to go to Vancouver instead of Edmonton. We're going to go to Nashville first. I forgot Nashville existed, sorry. The Nashville Predators, little bit of an asterisk because they're actually playing the Edmonton Oilers right now. So chances are by the time this game is done, they could have won a game or they could go 0-4 as well. But right now, the Predators, who, Carter, me and you thought that they were going to have a pretty good season with the guys they brought in. They start off 0-3 to start the year, and they were also pretty concerning games as well. Now, I do want to put a little bit of a disclaimer. Jose Saros, I believe, is still out. Am I right? Or is he back? He was out, I know, for the first 2 games.
He's played.
Oh, okay. So
he's played 2 games.
All right.
I'll
Never mind then. He missed the first game. That's it. So they go in, they play Dallas at home. They lose 4-3. Close game, not really that concerning. Then they get shut out by Detroit. Cam Talbot and Detroit. Yeah, that's a little concerning. And then they play Seattle on Tuesday. They lose 7-3 at home, by the way. So you can't help but be a little bit concerned about Nashville. Now, again, it's pretty early, and we don't want to jump to conclusions. And again, I should have said this at the beginning of this segment that we're doing here, but it's early. A lot of these teams have played less than 5 games, so it's not that big of an issue, I guess. But I mean, like, you start off slow like this, like it's not good. And I think that you look in terms of this team with a lot of firepower, a lot of offense, and a pretty solid blue line behind it, you'd think they'd be doing well. So Carter, read off some of these stats, and maybe they will tell the problem of this team right now.
All right. Well, you brought up UC Saros, and I'm going to talk about him here because I had him pretty high on my Vezina list. I did. And he's not off to a hot start. He's played 2 games, 2 losses. He's got a .419 goals against average and an .855 save percentage. Saved 47 of the 55 shots he's faced, which is not ideal. You know, you look at a team like Tampa, and Vasilevsky hadn't even faced 50 shots yet. But again, this is facing 28 shots a night, 27 and a half shots a night. Like, that's really good. So I don't know how the goals went in. Maybe they were tip-ins. Maybe they were shots from the point, screens, or something like that. But, I mean, you got to help out your goaltender here, especially if it is those cases of tips in front or shots from the slot. Like, you got to attack on that, right? So,
Yep.
I don't know how they went in, but that's about all I know. Now, looking at their player stats, Philip Forsberg, he's off to his point per game antics like he always is. He's got a goal and 2 assists through 3 games. Tommy Novak has got 2 goals on the year. Philip Forsberg, the only point per game player on this. Well, okay, other than Huso Parssinen, who's got 1 assist through 1 game. But from the guys who have played all 3 games, he is the only point per game player. Marchessault has 2 assists on the year. O'Reilly's got 1 goal, 1 assist. And the guy that I feel like everyone thought was going to have a huge impact right away, Steven Stamkos, he is pointless through 3 games. And he is -2 and 4 penalty minutes. So he's got to start finding his game here in Nashville. Otherwise, the Tampa Bay Lightning are going to look very smart for not making an offer to Steven Stamkos.
Now, Carter, I'm going to ask you this question, and you might have Stamkos' stats pulled up, but how many goals did Stamkos score last year?
Last year? Let me check. Just play the Jeopardy music. So last year, Steven Stamkos had 40. Year prior, he had 34. And then the year before that, he had 42. So through his last 3 seasons, if my quick math is correct, he had 116 goals through his last 3 seasons.
Without looking at that stat line, turn it off, close out of that tab. How many power play goals did he have?
How many?
Power play goals, yes. You just
49.
Did you say 49 power play goals last season?
Oh, I thought you said the last 3. Sorry. Last season?
Yeah.
19.
Oh, way to not guess.
I did guess.
19 power play goals last year.
I did guess. I know this off the top of my head.
No, you did not.
I studied this beforehand.
No. I asked you how many power play goals he had. You're like, 49. Because you thought I meant the last 3 years.
Yeah, and is it right?
Yes, it's right, but
thank you.
All right. Okay. So Stamkos last year had 19 power play goals and 39 power play points. It was actually a -21 last year, by the way, which is actually kind of insane when you think about it. He had 81 points last year. 39 of those were power play points. That's almost 50% of your points being on the power play. Now, we get that at this point in Stamkos' career, he may be a power play. Power play might be easier for him because he may be like a power play merchant, whatever you want to call it. But seeing those numbers, concerning. It's a little concerning, and especially through the first couple of games in Nashville, he has looked kind of subpar. And we really thought this team was going to be a cup contender, and we just have not seen that just yet. So, little concerning there on Stamkos' end. Did you read off any of the other guys' stats?
Forsberg, Novak, O'Reilly, Marchessault, Engvalista's looked good. He's got 2 assists through the 3 games. But other than that, Brady Shea, they're also other big pickup. He's got a goal.
How's Yossi?
And Yossi's only got an assist right now, but he's also dashed. He's also -3.
Yeesh. Yeah, so
they got to start performing. They got to start helping out UC Saros, and I think that this is a team with a lot of offensive firepower. So I think if you can help yourself on the defensive end, I think the offensive side will come naturally. It's just going to be, you got to help out UC Soros for right now.
They're a little bit of an older team, and they may take longer to kind of get there because a lot of their guys are a little older, and it might take a little bit for them to kind of adjust and get, into the flow of things. But, we'll see.
You gotta look at it as, Marchessault, Shea, Stamkos, like those are all guys who have, pretty much been on one team for a long period of time. So, I mean, although they are old, you got to think that going from a system you've played in for like 6+ years, Stamkos pretty much his entire career, but like Brady Shea, Jonathan Marchessault, like those guys have all been on their teams for 6+ years, right? So they're going to have to change their ways to play this natural predator style of hockey, and but I got no doubt in my mind that they'll be able to get back to it. So
yeah, I agree with that for sure. All right, so let's look. So let me just read off Nashville's rest of October schedule again. As I said, it just pulled out. But again, as I said, they play Edmonton tonight. Chances are, when you guys see this, they are either going to be 0-4 or they're going to be 1-3. But I guess this is kind of still relevant because they're struggling right now. You can tell. But the rest of their season, they play Detroit again on Saturday the 19th, followed up by Boston. Then they play Chicago and Columbus on a back-to-back. Then they play Tampa, and then they face Edmonton again to wrap up their season. So they can definitely come out of this for sure. It might take them a little bit to get there, but, I trust that Edmonton is going to be able to do it for sure. All right, let's take a look at the Vancouver Canucks up next, who going to put a little bit of an asterisk here as well. They have also played, I believe, 3 games, and they're playing right now against the Florida Panthers. But 2 of those games were in overtime, but you can't help but be a little bit concerned about Vancouver's goaltending based on what we've seen out of these 3 games. So the first game that they played was against Calgary. Again, as we mentioned at the beginning of this episode, they lost 5-6 or 6-5 in overtime. And then they played Philadelphia that following Friday. They lost 3-2 in overtime. Then they played Tampa on Tuesday and lost 4-1, and now they are playing Florida, and they are currently tied, but we'll see how the end of that game goes. Carter, I want to focus specifically on the goaltending because Demko is out. Right now, it's Shilovs and Lankinen in net there for those two goalies. How are we feeling? Are we concerned? Are we like, it's too early? What are we feeling about that goaltending right now?
I think Lankinen, you got to be pretty happy with how he's done. I mean, he's played in his 1 game. He's got a 1.85 and a 9.35 save percentage. He only looked at, 31 shots, but a goal you might want to start looking at is Silvos. Silvas. Silvois. I don't know how you want me to pronounce it.
Silvois. Oh my God. Carter's on like a hot streak with mispronouncing names today.
Oh, I'm a big fan of mispronouncing names. He is also winless. He's got a 4.5 goals against average and an 8.27 save percentage. He's saved 43 out of the 52 shots he has faced. And yeah,
definitely a little concerning on that stat line. I'm still blown away that you said his name wrong. No, I'm not. But yeah, definitely concerning for Vancouver. You see Demko go down with an injury that isn't really that common for hockey players. It's more like a soccer player injury, apparently. But still, got to be a little bit concerned about that. How are they doing offensively, though?
Well, offensively, what I am going to say here is Elias Pettersson has got to start scoring.
Yeah.
He has 1 assist through his 3 games, so not super ideal there. Brock Besser is leading the way. He's got 2 goals, 1 assist for 3 points. Connor Garland, he's got 2 goals, 1 assist for 3 points as well. JT Miller, Niels Hoglander each have 1 goal, 1 assist. DeBrusk, Quinn Hughes each have 2 assists. So their star players, really, their top guys other than Pettersson have really started to play really well. Quinn Hughes obviously coming off that Norris campaign. Is he looking as good as he did again as can't speak right now. Is he looking as good as Cale Makar is right now? Probably not. But you got to look at also the plus minus. I mean, he is looking really good, but I mean at the same time, he's not dealing with Alexander Georgiev in net.
That's very true. I'd say Vancouver is probably in a better situation than Colorado is right now. Now I want to look at something real quick. I'm going to look at Elias Pettersson's stats, because we know that ever since he signed that contract with the Canucks last season, he has really struggled offensively, including in the playoffs as well. In last year's playoffs, it was his second time. He only scored one goal in that entire playoff run. And I'm just going to look at something real quick. If you want to give me a few seconds here. So, it's going to start me. Wait, doesn't even count. Oh, hang on. Okay, so Pettersson scored on game number 2 versus the Oilers. So he has gone, since that series, he's gone 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, yeah, game 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the end of last season. And then going into this season, 6, 7, 8. 8 straight games without a goal. Now, again, that's carrying back into last season. But, you see how Pettersson was at the end of the season following that contract. It seemed like he kind of fell off there a little bit and didn't seem like what he usually was. So, a little bit concerning there from Pettersson. But, Carter, I really do think that the Canucks can definitely bounce back from this. They're still a really good team. They have a good roster, even with, Shilov's in net maybe being a little bit of a concern. Their remaining schedule for October, again, as I said, they do play Florida right now at the time of recording of this. So that's interesting. We'll see how that game comes out. It's tied 2-2 right now while we're recording. But the rest of their schedule, they play they said they play Florida. They play Philadelphia for their Flyers home opener. I will be there, by the way. Hopefully my girlfriend is not listening to this, because I'm actually surprising her with tickets. So hopefully she's not listening. She's not listening.
You are a better man than me.
Yeah, I better. Well, it's not even my tickets. It's my boss's tickets. So I got them free. But I'm like, hey, I'm just going to, bring you with. They're also playing Chicago in Chicago as well. And then they have a homestand against Pittsburgh, Carolina, and the Devils. So we'll see how Vancouver can do to kind of pull out of that a little bit. So, yeah. All right. We got 2 more teams here, Carter. Carter, I actually forgot a team for you I wanted you to look up. I wanted you to look up the San Jose Sharks scoring. Now, San Jose is a little bit different from these other teams, because we're not as concerned with San Jose as we may be with, the Vancouver or, the Colorados of this league. But the Sharks right now are 0-3. They're actually on pace to be 0-4. Because they're playing Chicago right now and losing 2-0. But they lost 4-5 in overtime against the Blues, blew a 4-1 lead. They lost in a shutout 2-0 against Anaheim, then they lost in overtime against Dallas 3-2. So, Carter, you have those stats pulled up for the Sharks.
Yeah.
Read off how those rookies and those guys are doing, because I need to get a water.
Okay. All right. The rookies, Macklin Celebrini, I feel like, as we all know, he had 2 points in his first period, and then since then was placed on IR for the last few days, so he has not played since that game. Some sort of hip, lower body. But, I mean, hey, welcome to the NHL. He's got his first goal. I mean, the fact that he even attempted that was pretty awesome there. Quite happy with him there. Will Smith, though, he does not have a point yet, but he's due for one. And I think I'm gonna be honest here. I'm gonna set out a hot take here.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, it might not be a hot take, but I think that he is going to get his first goal either tomorrow night, or he is going to get it against Colorado at home. So I think Will Smith will have his first NHL goal within these next 2 days. Or next 2 games. Boy. So I'm going to set that out there. I'm putting it out into the universe. I hope it doesn't happen against Winnipeg, because, one, I will not be there, which sucks, because I have my own stuff I have to do. I wish I could be there. I really wish Macklin Celebrini was going to be there, because, how much would I love to watch a little Macklin Celebrini. But I mean, Will Smith is just as entertaining. This team is just as entertaining. And yeah, and looking at their goaltending, Mackenzie Blackwood has not looked too hot, but when you play 2 games and you have faced almost 40 shots a night, I expect your goals against average
a night.
He has gotten 78 shots against in 2 games. He's got a 3.34 goals against average and a 9.10 save percentage. So the defense has got to start helping out Mackenzie Blackwood as they were with Vitek Vanacek, as he also does not have a win. Blackwood has taken both games into overtime for them, so that is good news for Mackenzie Blackwood, as he does not have a regulation loss yet. But Vitek Vanacek, he's got a 103 goals against average and a 9.66 save percentage, and he's only faced 29 shots through his 1 game. So they got to start helping out Mackenzie Blackwood, stop picking favorites, and helping out Vitek Vanacek. So the goaltending, I'm not seeing as much of an issue right now. I think it's just the defensive side of everything. And, Will Smith, he's due for a goal. But Tyler Toffoli, he's looked really good. What's up?
Don't forget you got Askarov in the A, too.
Yeah, well, he's on his little conditioning stint, and
he had a shutout, and he put the net to sleep. Did you see that clip?
I did see that.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, I think San Jose, it's like, again, like they're going to be bad this year, but you're going to see those things from Celebrini and Smith and Eklund that make things exciting. Hopefully their goaltending will get some more relief instead of facing 40 shots a game. So we'll see where that goes over the next couple of weeks. But San Jose right now, again, playing Chicago. Tomorrow they play against Winnipeg. Then they play against Colorado at home. Then they go on this little bit of a road trip where they play Anaheim, the Kings, the Golden Knights, and Utah. Then they're back on a homestand against LA and Chicago yet again. So honestly, Carter, I look at that schedule. That schedule's relatively easy. Besides Winnipeg and Colorado and Vegas in there, I think those are, 4, I guess 5 very winnable games for the Sharks. So we'll see if they can get a win earlier than they did last year. Let me just see when they play Philadelphia first. All right, they play Philadelphia on the 11th. So chances are they may lose until then. Just so you guys know. That's what happened last year. All right. One more team we're going to talk about here, Carter, before we send it to news, and then we'll wrap up this episode. The Edmonton Oilers. Carter, they're doing it again. They are 1-3 to start the season. Little bit of an asterisk because, again, they've won 1 game, but I thought I'd throw them in here because I didn't talk about them in the last episode that I did alone. But you can't help but be a little bit concerned. Again, the Oilers are playing right now against Nashville. So one of those 2 outcomes will result in the Oilers, coming out with a solid record and only being 2-3, or they're going to be, 1-4, and I'll have to make a video on it either way. But regardless, Edmonton, through their first 3 games, have been rough. They played Winnipeg, as we said earlier in this episode, and got destroyed.
Bang.
I'm happy about that. Then they played Chicago on Hockey Night in Canada, who they absolutely should have beat. They lost 5-2. Then they played Calgary. Actually got their first lead of the game in that one, and they lost 4-1. Then they played Philadelphia, won 4-3 in overtime. But I do want to say there's one thing that we're going to talk about later on in this episode when we get to news and trending players that relates to Philadelphia and some special rookie there. But regardless, the Oilers ended up getting that overtime win. Carter, I want you to read off the Edmonton Oilers goalie stats right now. How is Stuart Skinner looking?
Not hot. That's all I'll say. He is not looking too good. Through 3 games played, he's got a 4.42 goals against average and an 8.45 save percentage. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, he's facing a lot of shots. Through his 3 games played, he has faced 71 shots, which is less than 25 shots a game. So I think the math would check out to be about 24-ish shots a game.
Did you do that without
a calculator?
Damn.
Huh?
Did you do that without a calculator?
Dude, I'm really good at math.
Damn, dude. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
when you were talking about what was it, Georgiev, and it was like 48 shots per 2 games or whatever, or you were talking about someone, and I actually went to look it up when it was clearly 24. So yeah, you're definitely better at math than I am. Carter's the math guy here. All right.
I'm very good at math. Anyways, let's get back to hockey and not math. I'm not in school right now. But anyways, he has let in 11 goals. Not ideal when you're facing 24 shots a night. And then you look at Calvin Pickard, who I'm assuming got the start in the first game, maybe. I don't know. Because from the looks of it, he's had 6 goals scored against him. He's only played 1 game. And he faced only 27 shots a night. And he let in 6. So he's got a .417 and a .778 save percentage. Not the start you're looking for if you are Edmonton Oilers goaltenders or the Edmonton Oilers coaching staff.
He's playing right now, by the way, against Nashville. And by the way, the Oilers just scored to go up 2-1, and they are actually out shooting Nashville 23-9 in the second period right now. So keep that in mind. All right, continue with the who's scoring right now.
Who's scoring? I'll tell you who's not scoring. Connor McDavid still does not have a goal. He is being outscored by none other than the Minnesota Wild goaltender himself, who I have in every single fantasy league, and I think that goalie goals should get 1,000 goal points.
It really should, because it's such a rarity. Like, it only happens like once or twice a season.
I know. It should be worth a lot of points, and if you're confident enough to start him, you should get points. Anyways, let's get back to Connor McDavid. He's got 4 assists. He's doing what he did last year, where he just, starts off slow, lets the rest of the league, get a head start, and then he just makes a run for it late.
Yep.
Which is what he does, because I think last year he was like a half point per game through like a certain amount of games. I don't even know, and then he ended up being like 10 points out of the point race. Like, dude, it's not fair. Connor McDavid is not fair. Leon Draisaitl, he's got 2 goals, 1 assist through the 4 games played. The fact that Connor McDavid is their only player to be a point per game guy is kind of crazy. I will say this: they are going to very greatly miss not having Philip Broberg on this team. And I think that we're really starting to see it right now. They do not have a lot of great goaltending. There are a lot of great defense. The back end is not looking good. And I will throw this out there as well. Evan Bouchard only has 1 point, and this guy was supposed to listen, he's a great defenseman, don't get me wrong, but the hype train's kind of slowing down.
I swear somebody on this podcast, or maybe it was on Nord Block, who picked Bouchard for the Norris.
Yeah, that's not looking like a good start right now.
No,
but I will say, yeah. And the rest of this team is not looking too good. This back end is not looking very good as well. I think you got to look at the defense and the goaltending right now, because it is not good.
I agree. A little more of an update here on the Oilers Predators game. You guys are going to see this, but Jeff Skinner actually scored the go-ahead goal. I believe he has 2 goals now, Carter. I think he actually leads the team in goals, right?
Yes, he is now tied with Leon Draisaitl.
And he has never made the playoffs once in his career.
And it doesn't look like it's off to a great start right now either.
Yeah. But again, the Oilers did this last year, so I honestly would not rule it out at all. All right, let me just take one last look at the Oilers' remaining schedule. So they play, they're playing Nashville right now. They play Dallas on Saturday. Then they play Carolina, the Penguins, both at home. Then they go on a little bit of a road trip. They play Detroit, Columbus, and Nashville to end off that month of October. So interesting month. We'll see what the Oilers can do. But again, we know that they can come back from something like this. They're dominating Nashville right now. If they pick up this win against Nashville, they're only 2-3, so it's not that big of a concern. So I wouldn't be worried just yet for the Oilers. But again, if they do end up losing, if they end up going 2-9 again, I might be a little bit concerned.
Do they fire Knobloch?
I don't know. Like that.
No, you're not. No,
Nord, I'm saying this as a joke. You are not firing Chris Knobloch. You're not doing this again. No.
No, but there's actually some people out there who really do think they would.
Yeah, I know. And I'm just saying it's stupid.
I agree with you. I think it really is, honestly.
I think it's the dumbest thing that they could do.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. So we'll see where all those teams go. I believe those are the only teams that have not lost a game or have not won a game besides the Oilers. Carter, were there any other teams that kind of caught your eye that you kind of want to talk about before we get into news and some trending players around the league? Buffalo is very notable, but I talked about them last episode. They're actually losing 6-3 right now against the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, they're not looking very good.
They're going to be 1-4, 1-5 to start the season.
No, 1-4-1. 1-4-1.
1-4-1, but 1-5, basically. So, yeah.
It's an overtime loss. You got to count it.
Yeah, but you can't help but be a little bit concerned about that. I also, I don't know. It's still a little too early to tell with most teams. I think by next week, if we make another episode, we'll have more of a clearer picture on most of these teams. But yeah, right now it's kind of a little difficult to tell besides the ones we mentioned. All right.
I will say you might end up getting into like a shout out on them or whatever because I mean you're like their biggest fan and everything like that. But Utah's off to a nice start. I will say I'm very happy that Utah's off to the start that they're at and that they're off to, and so I'm quite happy for them.
Yeah, I talked about that last episode. It's kind of why I didn't talk about it this episode. But yeah, Utah looks great. You can't help but be happy about what they've done. I don't know if they make the playoffs, but I mean, they look exciting. They had a pretty hot start to the year, so hopefully maybe that will continue. So let's move into some news and milestones across the league. So Carter, you kind of missed out on a lot of the news last week, so there's not going to be much in this one. But Evgeny Malkin has 500 goals in his NHL career, so that's pretty impressive. Congratulations to him. And Sidney Crosby has 1,600 points in his career. So, round of applause, a little bit of a round of applause to him. Good on Carter for doing that as a Flyers fan. Now, Carter, we're going to play a game. So he is, I believe, the 11th. Let me actually pull it up here real quick. This shows how unprepared I am. He is the. Hang on. He is okay. He is the 10th player to reach 1,600 points. Can you guess the 9 players above him?
He's the 10th to do it?
Yes, he is the 10th, so there's 9 above him to do it.
Okay.
This down, actually. Hang on.
So we got Wayne Gretzky.
Okay, that's 1.
We got Mario Lemieux.
It's 2. 2 out of 9.
Jaromir Jagr.
3 out of 9.
And now we start getting a little. I don't think any of the Sedins would have done it. Fuck, this is like really making me seem like such a casual right now.
So here, let me read them all for you. So Gretzky's number 1, of course. Yager's number 2. Lemieux's actually 8, believe it or not. So do you want a hint?
Okay, hold on. Okay, there's got to be some sort of Canadian, Montreal.
No, there's not actually.
Really? Okay, well, there's a Leaf. There's got to be a Leaf, right?
No, there's no Leaf.
What the fuck? Okay,
Nice.
wow.
Hang on. Oh, no, that's a lie. Well, there is a player who played on the Maple Leafs, but I don't think you're going to know him as a Toronto Maple Leaf. Do you want a hint?
Sure.
All right, I'll give you a hint. One of them is, or actually 2 of them are current GMs in the NHL right now. One of them in the East, one of them in the West.
Oh, dude, Danny Briere.
No.
Oh. No. I really thought he had it. I actually have no idea. I'm drawing such a blank right now. This is really ruining my hockey knowledge.
Okay, one of the GMs is in the Atlantic.
Dude, I am horrible with GMs.
Okay, hang on.
No, I'm getting this Atlantic.
As I hear him press his mouth on his keyboard. And
No, I'm pulling. Listen, I'm pulling up the Atlantic Division. I don't know it off the top of my head. All right,
the
chill.
teams. Okay, can't pull up the GM names. That's too easy.
Oh, Stevie Y.
Yes, he's number 7. So that's 3.
I did not think he got there. I was thinking of a Detroit player, but I couldn't think of Stevie Y. I was like, oh, Pavel Datsyuk. No.
No, I don't even think Datsyuk has 1,000 points.
He might. He's probably close.
He didn't play that. Well, he didn't play like terribly long in the NHL, but the numbers he put up was still really impressive. All right. The other GM is in the Pacific Division.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to get it right here.
So you're at 4 of 9 right now.
I'm definitely not going to get this. Oh my gosh. I don't know GMs. I don't know. Just name them off for me. I'm horrible with this.
You quit?
I'm tapping out, but as soon as you tell me who it is, I'm going to be like, I hate myself. It's the best 6 players, and I got 3 of them without hints. That's horrible.
Yeah, the 3 most obvious, too. Ron Francis was the one.
Oh, wait, Francis got it? Damn. All right, respect the Ron Francis.
A little surprising.
Get that guy his flowers.
All right, there's another Detroit Red Wing in here. He's not a GM. He's an all-time great, though.
Zetterberg?
No.
Nick Lindstrom.
Think way back before like the.
Oh, Gordie Howe.
Yes, I feel like you should have gotten that one too.
I don't know why he didn't pop into my head there.
All right, so you got 3 more. Yeah, 3 more. So one of them is actually an analyst on ESPN. And no, it is not Arda Ogal. No, it is not. It is not friend of the podcast, Arda Ogal.
Dude, it's Paul Bissonnette.
He's on TNT. That's
same thing.
No. He
PK?
No, it is not PK.
No, did Mark Messier get it?
Yes, it's Mark Messier.
Fuck! I was gonna say him, but I was like, he feels like too much of like the number 2.
Third. He's 3rd in all-time points.
Really?
Behind Yager and Gretzky, which is a little surprising.
Wow, I did not. All right, I wasn't familiar with his game then. Damn.
All right, so you're missing 2. One of them.
Audior.
No. One of them you probably aren't gonna know, and you probably won't get. The other you should know. Do you want a hint on him?
Oh my god. Give me the one that I probably shouldn't know.
You want me to just tell you the name?
Nope.
Okay. Oh, okay. He played for the Kings, right, when they came into the league early. Back in the 70s was when he was around. He's actually like really forgotten as like a really good goal scorer.
Oh my gosh. Pat LaFontaine?
No, he has 730 goals though. I don't know this.
Damn. Oh yeah, I won't know who this is. Luc Robitaille.
Nope. Marcel Dion.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I should have got that.
And you got one more. I've been helping you a ton here, but you got one more.
Shut up.
Do you want a hint for him?
Sure.
This guy used to be the GM of a team in the Central Division, but recently passed it on to another person, and he was there for their first ever Stanley Cup in the 90s. Central Division, former GM, won a cup with them.
Dude, I don't know GMs. You know this.
Well, you should still get the cup in the 90s.
Oh, what's Ray Bork?
No, not Ray Borg, but you're on the right track.
I don't know.
Joe Sakic. Oh man, I really just embarrassed the hell out of Carter in this one. All right, I'm sorry.
Dude, that was horrible. I'm bad at quizzes.
That might have been the worst 6 minutes of this podcast's history.
Dude, the pressure got to me. We're not discussing. I'm getting this cut from the pod. This is horrible.
All right. Well, as I mentioned, Jay Gottinger signed an 8-year deal today with the Stars. Sean Dursey is out for the foreseeable future with an injury on Utah. Really unfortunate. Good top pairing defenseman. Carter, That's all I got for news, basically. There's really nothing else. It kind of was like a little bit of like week in the NHL so far. I want you to talk about some trending players around the league. And I'll give you a first one, kind of easy here. Philip Gustafson is the number one. Scored a goalie goal 2 days ago against St. Louis.
What a guy.
On this pod about how it's so rare for goalies to score goalie goals.
Dude, I have him in every fantasy league.
Which is why I'm gonna quiz you on who scored all. No, I'm kidding. Who scored all the goalie goals?
Ron Hextall.
Here, hang on. Let me pull them up real quick, and you can list like the last three. Besides Gustafson, if you want to try and do this.
All right.
Okay. All right. Let me look it up here. Okay. All right. Okay. So the last three. So Gustafson was one in 2024-25. The last three, one was in 23-24, one was in 22-23. The other
Okay,
one.
I think I can get this. Okay, Linus Olmark is one.
Yes, because I almost said his name, but yes, Olmark's one.
I know Olmark's one.
One of them is
Pecorine.
One of them is retired.
Pecorine.
Yes, Rene is one of them as well. Oops. And then this one might be pretty difficult. I see you looking at your computer screen there, Carter. Don't cheat.
No, I'm looking at teams.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to
You're going to be shocked at this one because this one's a little kind of easy to forget.
Oh, is it the guy that Seth's been ripping, Tristan Jarry?
Yes, it is. Last year, November 30th.
I can do that, but I can't name the best players of all time. Are you kidding me?
Yes, you can listen. Well, that's more relevant. Well, that's more embedded.
More recent, yeah.
Who scored goalie goals than all-time players, even though it should be the other way around. But yeah, again, we do have to have Seth on the podcast because man, he's been letting up the Pittsburgh Penguins recently on his Instagram. All right, Carter, was there any other trending players that kind of struck your mind? There's one that I'm going to mention.
I mean, I got a couple of trending players.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna start with the 1-2 punch from Utah. Clayton Keller, Dylan Gunther. They've both looked unreal to start this season off. So I'm gonna give him that. Evgeny Malkin, he's got 11 points right now. He's seemed pretty unreal.
Turning back the clock.
I know. He's back to his old ways. A trending player, not in a good way. Tristan Jarry, who we literally just talked about, he's looked horrible.
Yeah, he's looked pretty atrocious. Yo, Blomqvist has looked good though in the backup role. Shout out to him.
He has. Lane Hudson, he's looked really good as well. He's someone I'd put at trending. Brant Clark, I will say, has also looked really good as the defenseman there. And I will say a sneaky pick who we never talked about. Jack Eichel is quietly having a really good season.
He is. Yeah. We didn't talk about Vegas in this one. That was my plan to talk about them next episode because they look pretty good right now. But yeah, you got to give a lot of credit where it's due. Eichel looks very solid. 100%. All right, Carter, do you have anybody else?
Oh, McDavid just got his first goal.
Oh, did he? Oh, yeah, it's pulled up right here. There you go.
And Marchessault got one as well.
Ooh, okay. So, yeah, I've had it on. But, yeah, it looks like a pretty good game so far.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Carter?
I got nothing else for you.
Okay, well, I'm really surprised you didn't bring up Matvei Michkov. 2 goals.
Because I knew you were.
Yeah, well, yeah, 2 goals, and not only his first game, but in his first game, that was not his first game.
What
am I saying? Not only did he score his first goal against the Oilers, but he scored his first 2 goals in the first period against the Oilers. So, very impressive for the kid. I'm going to see him on Saturday again. Cadence, surprise, surprise, if you're listening to this. Good thing I'm not on FaceTime with her, or else this would be pretty ugly.
Quinn Hughes got his first goal too.
Ooh. So the teams that we talked about as they're, undefeated. Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
Won.
Dallas now lost. Tampa Bay won.
Yeah, Tampa won. They were down.
Kucherov wins it with 55 seconds left after Hagel tied it with a deep shot goal with 2 minutes left to go.
Damn.
God bless Kucherov for fantasy.
This is why, like, I missed the regular season because we get to talk about games as they're going on. Perfect. All right, and one more thing well, actually, two more things. We might not even do the last one. I'm going to ask Carter if he wants to do it, but two more things here to wrap up. Justin Kirkland is my other trending player. His road to the show, credit to Spin Chicklets for this. He was drafted in 2014 by the Nashville Predators in the third round, spent 8 seasons in the ECHL and the AHL. He sat out of, I think it was a year or two after suffering head trauma in a car accident. And then he makes the team, and in his 11th NHL game, scores his first goal at 28 years old for the Calgary Flames against the Edmonton Oilers. So a really good story for Kirkland. I doubt Carter really knew who Kirkland was. I didn't know who Kirkland was. He was actually a WHL champion, believe it or not, with I think it was
huge.
I don't really remember who, but yeah, impressive there. And one more thing that I want to mention with news and stuff about that. Recently, the final captain in the NHL for a vacant team was named. It is Jordan Eberle. And that makes it the first time since I think it was 2014-15 where every team in the league had captains. Now, Carter, I'm going to ask you this. Do you want to try and name all 32 captains?
Sure.
All right, but here's what I'm going to do though. Actually, no, I'm not going to give you a time. I'm just going to let you name them off. So,
okay. I got the standings up.
We're going to go in alphabetical order.
Alphabetical.
Let me just yeah, all right. So, Carter, you may begin whenever.
All right. So,
try to go in alphabetical order.
Okay. Anaheim Ducks, we got Radko Gudas. Okay, hang on. This is going to confuse me if it's not already set in alphabetical order.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm typing up NHL teams in alphabetical order. Okay, here we go. We got Anaheim Ducks, I already said. Boston Bruins, we got Brad Marchand. Buffalo Sabres, Rasmus Dahlin.
Yep.
Calgary Flames, they named one. Is it Rasmus Anderson?
Nope. It's kind of a weird one.
Not Huberdeau.
Nope.
Oh, Backlund?
Yes, there you go.
Yep,
That's
Backlund.
3.
Carolina is Aho.
Nope.
No. Oh my God, who?
It's
one of the stalls, right? Which stall is it? Jordan.
Jordan. There you go. That's
Jordan
4.
Stahl. Okay.
32.
Chicago Foligno.
Yes.
Colorado is I know who it is. Landeskog.
Yes, he hasn't played in a while, but that's 5.
Yeah.
6.
Is Columbus Werenski?
Nope.
Oh, Boone?
Yes,
Boone Jenner. Okay. Dallas is Jamie Benn.
Okay.
Oh, Detroit Dylan Larkin.
Yep.
Edmonton is obvious, Connor McDavid. Florida is also obvious, Barkov. LA obvious, it's oh my gosh, it's not obvious. Yeah, I know who it is. You just got to let me get to the name. Kopitar.
All right.
Okay. Is Minnesota Jared Spurgeon?
I think it is. I'm actually kind of blanking on that too. Hang on a second.
I'm gonna say it's Jared Spurgeon.
Loud typing. So the captain of the Minnesota Wild is Jared Spurgeon. So you got that right.
Bang. All right, Montreal Nick Suzuki, Nashville Roman Yossi. Oh, the Devils. Nico Hischier.
Yeah, there you go.
That's stupid of me.
You're
Islanders Anders Lee, Rangers Jacob Trouba.
Yep.
Ottawa Brady Tkachuk, Philadelphia Sean Couturier.
Yep.
Pittsburgh Sidney Crosby. Oh, San Jose. I don't know San Jose's.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yes. Couture, right?
Yes,
Logan Couture.
He hasn't played.
There we go. Okay. Seattle. Jordan Eberle.
Yeah, I said it earlier.
Yeah, Eberle. St. Louis.
Do you want a hint?
No. I know it's not Braden Shen. It's not Kyrou. It's not. Is it Braden Shen?
Yes, it's Braden Shen.
Oh, it is Braden Shen. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say former Flyer if you couldn't get it.
Okay. I was between him or I was like, there's a defenseman I'm forgetting here. So I was trying to narrow myself down to the defenseman. Tampa. Who's Tampa's? This is it Hedman? No.
Yep, it's Hedman.
It is Hedman. Okay, I didn't actually know that. That's on me. I got to stay more in tune. Toronto is Matthews. Utah is Clayton Keller.
Yep.
Vancouver, Quinn Hughes. Vegas is Mark Stone.
Yep.
Washington, Ovi. And Winnipeg, Adam Lowry. Oh! There it is. We did it with no helpers. Guys, I did it.
You did that in 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Good job, Carter.
I probably could have done that a lot faster if I would have sped ran it, but I mean, hey, had to keep it entertaining.
If Jack was here, I think he'd still be on.
I think we got to see if Jack can beat me.
I wanted to. Okay, I'm writing that down for next episode then, because I
Jack is gonna have to try and beat my time in a maid costume and full makeup. This is gonna be a fun episode. So stay tuned for next episode. We might even have to start with Jack just to keep the retention high.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. All right, this will conclude episode 75 of the NordCast. Carter, great episode. Thanks for coming on. Any final thoughts?
Any final thoughts? I got nothing. Go Jets, go Flyers, and let's go Ducks.
F the Phillies is my final thought. We didn't get to talk about that.
We don't even have to talk baseball
We're not going to
anymore.
get into that. Just so you guys know, we're not posting our World Series predictions. We're not going.
I didn't make a World Series prediction.
No, Carter did. Neither did I, actually. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that
Jack still said Cubs though.
Jack did pick the Cubs. He also picked Chicago White Sox. It was going to be the Battle of Chicago in the finals. All right. Well, that will do it for this episode of the NordCast. Thank you guys for watching and listening. We greatly appreciate it. We'll see you guys in the next one. Adios. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening to yet again another episode of the NordCast. If you enjoyed, please subscribe down below or follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you want to follow us on TikTok, we are at NordCast. If you want to follow us on Instagram or Twitter, follow at NordCast_. That'll do it for this episode. I'm Nordic. Thanks for listening from all the crew, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.